Let's make a coffee cup sleeve or cozy. What we need for this project is about 1/3 to half an ounce, or about 80 to 100 grams of wool roving. I've chosen these colors. I thought they go very well together with an accent color. You'll need bubble wrap that will help agitate the wool when it's wet. You'll need a boot tray or a tray that has a lift on the edge. This is usually enough with a towel, or you can use a non-stick rug mat that you can buy at almost any general store, or you can use a bamboo placemat. And why we need these things is because they have little bumps and we need to agitate the wool to make felt. This project will also show you some embellishment ideas. This will turn into this with warm or cold, not too hot, soapy water. The soap that you use can be just dish soap. Your favorite dish soap will do. And any temperature water. Because this is a small project, it will felt up quickly and dry quickly. Then you can embellish. This is a cuff. I'm going to just use that as a template. And I'm going to start by just putting my wool out around this size. This is about as much water as you'll need. You don't need too much. And let's go. Okay, that's going to get wet. I'm going to start with this nice dark green. I chose these colors because they remind me of a really nice cafe or coffee shop. They have these beautiful colors and they remind me of South America, where my favorite coffees come from. I'm just pulling apart the wool. I don't pull apart too close. I won't be able to get it apart. This came from a sheep. If I pull apart here, you can see that it's around the same length, about 3 to 4 inches. That's called the staple. That's the length of the fibers. I'm just going to pull them apart with my fingers. This is like painting with wool. This is what yarn is made of. It starts with this and then it spins. You spin it with a spinning wheel or a drop spindle and you make yarn. I'm taking this apart and let's take the next colors apart. This roving or fleece came in this color. It's got a couple of colors here, so I don't want to pull things too far apart because I like the color combination. Very coffee with milk. I'm just pulling. This is a great first time project. You don't need a lot of fleece to make one of these, and they're perfect for autumn. They're great gifts. Oh, this one's got a long staple. Look at that. And I just want to pull this apart a little bit more. I like to use about 3 to 5 colors when I make one of these. Okay, and this white, that'll be a nice accent color. And the reason why I'm pulling apart is I just want to see what I'm working with. I want to take a look at how long the staple is. I'll be felting on both sides. Here. Okay, I'm going to start with this beautiful green. I'm just using this as a template. When you felt things, they shrink. So I want to make this longer and wider than the template that I'm using. I don't need a super thick woolen sleeve. These can be called coffee cozies or tea cozies. Okay. Now I'm going to start going the other way. When I felt, this will, using the water and the soap, it will agitate the fibers. All the fibers, this is like hair, has scales on it. And when you get them wet, so the scales go one on top of each other, and when you get them wet, they lift, and then you can have them connect like this and make a good strong bond. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of the other colors. I'm just playing with this. I can add as much or as little as I want, and then go on the other side. I think I'm going to go down this way. Save some for the other side. And see, with this, I just used 4 colors here on this one, and they create like just these wispy, veiny, marbly looking accents, and they're just so pretty. This I was inspired to make as a coffee color too. I was very inspired by the colors that you find in coffee. Okay, now I'm going to add about half of this creamy color on this side and keep it just on one side. I don't have to have everything looking the same. And once they get wet, here we go, they lock into each other. There we go. Okay, so that's just one side. It's a little larger because it will shrink, but you'll be able to, before it dries, give it some stretch. So that's good. I don't need my template anymore. I can put that aside. I'm going to take this and just flip over and finish adding my fleece. You see, it's not a lot, not even a whole ounce, like half an ounce, a little less than half an ounce. There we go. Again, I just want it to stay at one side, and I'm crisscrossing, and if I want, I can make a ball or a little circle, as long as it's not too elevated, and just put it down and see what happens. Let's put it on top of the creamy color. This is a very quick project. It dries quickly, and especially if you want it to put it in front of a fan, it'll dry nice and quick. And then you can embellish it with beads and charms and any type of broken costume jewelry. I love using broken costume jewelry in projects like this. You can embroider. Here, look at that. That will make a nice veiny accent. I'm going to put, you know what? Actually, I'm going to take that off and put this down. there. And then put this on top. There we go. And that should be enough. This might turn out to be a little larger than this. It's very light. You just pop that in your pocket or your purse or your car or your bike, and anytime you get a to-go coffee, instead of using a paper cuff, you can use the beautiful felted project. Okay, it's time to add some water. Let's give it a shake. And wet my hands. And then start pressing down. As I mentioned earlier, the hotter the water, the faster it will felt. I don't want this to felt very quickly because I might want to change things around a little bit, add things. I like the organic edging, so I'm just going to do a little bit of manipulating at the edge. I don't want it too straight. Let's bring some of that white down, make it look a little bit like a web. See, if it was hot water I was using, it might felt too quickly and I wouldn't be able to manipulate this. When it dries, that beautiful green will come through. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over and see what it looks like on the other side. Oh, that's so pretty. I'm going to leave that. That looks very nice. I like that. Okay. Remember, it's going to shrink. Okay. I'm going to use just this mat. Remember, you can use this mat or you can use a bamboo mat, or you can use some of this bubble wrap. This I couldn't use right now because it's not long enough. But this is nice and long. So what I'm going to do is just fold it over, but I'm going to leave some room between the fold and the project. And then just fold it over here. Like that. What I like about using boot trays is they have little ridges, and that's very helpful for when you want to roll. You can roll like this. This is easy enough to roll like this. But what makes it a lot easier and not so slippy is if you put it in a towel. So I'm just going to put a towel here. This is just like a finger towel. And just roll it over. And I can probably just use one hand. And I want to do this about 100 or 200 times. And then I'll check it. And if it doesn't come apart and I can't lift the fibers, then it has felted. And then I'll let it dry. And I'll sew on some beads and embroider. Very simple design, a square, a circle, plain shape. Add some larger embellishments, some charms. Small projects are wonderful because everything's kept in the boot tray and very easy to clean up afterwards. I'm adding pressure. Okay, I'm going to take a look. Okay, I could tell already it still needs more felting. But here, it is a piece of fabric, but it is moving around. I can lift some felt off, and I don't want that. Okay. With my fingers, I can agitate it. See, that shouldn't move around like that. I want it to be felted together. So let's try. Take the towel out and keep this here. Let's try the mat. This mat, it comes over about here, so I'll want the project to not be at the edge, to be over here a little bit. So I'm going to place it in the center, and there we go, right there. Roll it over. Because this is bamboo, I don't need the towel right away. Let's move there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, see what it looks like with that. That's felted even more, I can tell. Just by looking at it, you can tell that it's already felted. Yeah, see that there's some movement in the white. That means I need some more felting. So let's try. We're going to try all sorts here. I don't quite have enough, so I'm going to put it on the bias here. I've got the poppers up, so the poppers are going to come here, and this I will want the towel as well. I'm just going to fold the towel in half, thereabouts, and I'm going to put it off to here a little bit where it's dry. There we go. And then let's do another 100. It's 50. 70. 90. 100. Okay, let's take a peek. It's felted even more. That's wonderful. Okay, I'm liking my little bitsies here, those little ends. Let's see, is it still moving? So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take away this so that I have a harder surface, nice hard surface, and I'm going to smash it down. And by smashing it down, I'm giving it time to felt together. I think I might even add some more water to this. Yeah, I need some more water. See, look, that's coming up there. Okay. There we go. Both sides. Okay. I'm gonna smash it down. Wee. Okay. Let's get some water out of there. Okay. Shrinking just a little bit. Okay, now with just my fingers, I'm going to agitate it right into these little grooves that are in the tray. I could also needle felt this if I felt like it needed some needle felting, but because I'm going to be embroidering over it, I'm just going to use the needle, the embroidery needle, to sew in any little bits instead of needle felting it. There we go. I can see it getting smaller as I do this. Okay. Okay, very good. All right, now what I'm going to do is one more roll, and then I'm going to let it dry and embellish it. So you've seen all the little bits and pieces. You don't need all of these things. Choose one or two of them if you like. Let's see, any dry parts. That's fine there. Okay. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's see. All right, definitely it shrank this way. Okay, so with this, let's see, pull it. I still can manipulate it. I could still pull it. What I wanted to do now is dry, and then I will embellish what I feel like I want to embellish, and then either needle felt it or sew it together that way. This will shrink. You can see where's the difference of the other one. It won't shrink to this size because this was smaller than this, but it will start to shrink, and then you can decide which side you want to be the front or the back, and then add some embellishments. There we go. Let's move this out of the way. Get this here, and I'll get a different towel, a dry towel. There we go. And let it dry. If your project isn't felting, if there's still movement, then roll another 100 times and then check it. It should shrink. I'm just gonna let that dry. It shouldn't take more than a couple hours to dry. If you want, you can let it dry overnight before you start your embellishments.